So now we move on to the brain for the second half, for the last half of our session today. So Vika wants you to know about the different approaches over time in understanding the role of the brain in behavior and mental processes. So we've got the brain versus heart debate and the mind and body problem here. The brain versus heart debate is where it was debated whether this does seem silly, but remember that this is old, whether our perceptions and all of our mental processes were located within the heart or within the brain. If you think about this a little bit more, it's felt that the heart can feel emotion, and that's even an association that still exists to this point. And we have phrases and things to do with like falling in love and involving the heart or feeling certain emotions. My heart skipped a beat, for example. So you can see and connect that that idea has been alive since a long time ago. But the heart hypothesis then obviously suggested that we think with our heart. All the mental processes are there. And then the brain hypothesis suggested that mental processes were located within the brain. As early as 500 BC, we already had a Greek philosopher identify that the brain was the center of mental processes, as we know now. Um, so this is just showing how far we've come. The study design wants you to know how far we've come along. And then there was the mind-body problem question, whether our bodies and minds were separate in entities or whether they were one and the same. So for centuries, it was believed that the mind and the body were separate. As we know, our brain controls all of that, and our brain is part of our body. But people actually thought that it was separate. The idea was that the mind could control the body, but the body couldn't control the mind. And that's how they decided that it was separate. But in the 17th century, Rene proposed that the mind and the body interact with each other through the pineal gland, and you will have to know about brain structures. We'll look at this in more detail as well. But it's a small structure located deep within the brain. And the suggestion was this is how we connect. Now we know, and you learn about this in detail about the nervous system, how the spinal cord uh, connects to the brain, and how impulses travel up and down and up and down. So it's all connected, and it's all connected and goes to the brain stem. Impulses going to the brain stem.